Well, again, end of another day, cleaned up everything, did the rearranging of the machine tools. Something like levers and screwdrivers to move heavy things around. That's the biggest thing. I think it was 8 tons. Hmm. I was on HMCS Saskatchewan. It was kind of fun making the bearing housing for that whole thing. It was fun. It was a night of Hail Bop. Hail Bop the Comet in Vancouver. We got. Oh, heard that. What was it? Saskatchewan. Had a crane on the dock, lifted it perfect, no accidents. About 2 a.m. Oh yeah, I was smoking my trusty cigarette or pipe, and somebody left the oxyacetylene running. Could smell it. I said, "Oops!" Backing out real fast, cutting something. No, Special Forces. I forget the guy's name. I'm nicknamed him Mr. Dynamite. He'd do the explosives on the ships, and he'd go around with his torch and cut and cut and created fires in the storerooms. And a lot of papers and plastic and tons of stuff down there in one storeroom. I think it was for stationery. Got nailed. Managed to close the main doors. And Wes called in to Raleigh. Said, hey, don't tell the fire department. I said, no, we'll put it out, Wes. We'll put it out with a garden hose. It's kind of hilarious in a way because the Edgewater Fortune, which is, I think, Greenpeace, is our neighbor in front of us, started to planning to leave the dock. Never forget that. They undid the ropes, started pulling away. I don't know if the Foxtrot submarine, no, he wasn't there at the time. That was some project some guy was working on, using some of our stuff to make up for lost parts of that crazy old submarine. Anyway, I don't even know if it's still there in New Westminster. It's a tourist attraction. Hi, Doctor. Oh, not you again. Anyway, yeah, it was. Remember there, I didn't go on it, but Foxtrot Russian submarine. The guy's Russian submarine. We sort of laughed at him. He's using parts off our Navy ships. And fool the public with paint, I guess. Where was I with the fire? Anyway, we got the fire out. It was late at night. Get back to my other USS Hutchison apartment and took a nice long shower in the shower box. Yes, I did cut the bathtub in half for a piece of equipment for radio sales. Some fans delivered it to me and assembled it. That was about 400 pounds, and I had to cut the bathtub in half because they never use a bathtub anyway for anything, so I only use it for washing. So I made it designed a cupping hole. It worked. Sitting on a little plastic chair thing inside with a thing over my head. Lots of plywood and chains. Lots of chains to hold the weight to the ceiling. I doubled the joists in that apartment building along with the side walls and turnbuckles and chains. Had 18 tons in it when I moved. Wow. Anyway, so Chester Polanski of CB C News did some stories with me. He said I was a serial fridge killer. He was laughing his head off. Well, Jan and Carol, who I was dating at the time, just looked really puzzled and said, "That's the time I thought I was going to leave you." Oh, we kind of split ways. Janie Carol, wonder how she's doing. Anyway, I go around like free association, I guess. So Mr. Dynamite, quite a character. Fire was out, no problems. Then we used to test the C4 on the ship. You could rubber mat with holes in it. You put the C4 in, and the guys would test it. They call it test time. So my job was to close all of the watertight doors and everything. You could feel the ship shudder. It's a 400-foot ship. Mackenzie class destroyer. And shudder like that, and I go up behind the guys who were looking at their handiwork, which blew a hole through one of the decks, and I said, "Wow, keep it up, guys." They didn't even notice I was there, and I just walked away, but it was funny as hell. As West would call it, the secret squirrel people were around. And that was the good old days when the dinosaurs died. Early 90s, mid 90s. So, what the heck were they talking about? Gee willikers. I like memories, they're kind of fun. I like music memories, especially like Tina Turner and Ocean. From the 80s, 90s music. Blondie's cool. Thriller. Michael Jackson, cool, I love him. For the older stuff, I don't really like it. I like to recycle myself once in 10, 20 years or whatever, like I've done now. Can let all the old stuff go and look for the new stuff. So why am I talking about history here? I should be talking about things I'll be doing in the future. Brain fart. Spread those chops with the brain fart. I'll be doing a lot in the future. I just today made more future. Let's see. I wanted to mention the Great Red Spot YouTube channel. He's got some really cool videos. Now he's the only person I know that put a camera down when a train came along. I thought about doing that with a train out here. I thought, I don't know about an iPad, it might crack it from the vibration. Although I did have a camera. Could have got that fired up, I guess. Yes, I got a boo-boo. I was walking too fast, and I walked into a good old Harding Clausing, or whatever you want to call it, Elgin lathe. And it's a little handle sticking out. I always bump it if I'm walking too fast. Anyway, nothing to worry about. Oh, yeah, okay. What else? So I saw a bunch of other videos by Giant Red Spot are really cool videos. They're short or long, and they're really neat, different. Thank you. Hello, we communicate. Hi. Hanging around the Ravens too much. That's what I use for calling them up. He's got some cool Raven videos as well in Golden, British Columbia. I thought I was the only Raven lunatic, but there's others out there. There's a YouTube channel called The Raven Diaries, and there's a Moon in Raven, a lady in Portugal with a Raven pet, and who else? Fable the Raven in England, I believe. A lady has one. There's a bunch of other folks that have fun with ravens. Of course, I think the ravens are having fun with people. Yeah, I saw one where a raven was sticking its head out of the car a window as somebody was driving. You see his feathers blowing around. I don't know. Remember, feed your animals. Birds, ravens, squirrels, little ones, big ones. It's the winter time. Kind of like winter here, but it gets warm and it gets cold. Yeah, I don't know what else. I thought I heard somebody knocking on the window today. I was in that other room, which is a container, and I couldn't hear it, only slightly. And I don't know who that is. So I went to look. Took me a while to come around, and I didn't see anybody, so I don't think it was a ghost. I don't know who it was. That sounded like that, and I thought, what's that sound? I had to crawl out a bunch of stuff. Took me a while to come around and look. I didn't see anybody. Anyway, all fun and games. So I used up a lot of good energy, calories. What have we got in here? Oh yeah. My dress I wore during the summer, and I loved it. Can't wear it now, it's too cold. I was wearing this in the summer, it's really neat. I put it on and I do look, in my opinion, rather hot. That's okay. I am a slut. Yeah, I'll admit it. On play day. All yours. You do whatever you want with me. I am submissive. I think I'm a sub. Run silent, run deep, I'm a sub. Damn the torpedoes, full steam ahead, Barbara. You think I make a good sub? Never mind, we'll go there right now. I mentioned that was, the movie is called The Prowler, 1939. Amazing film. It's just so corny and weird. Of this town. And I think I should make a sequel to it. I could be the Prowler. So it was cold today in the neighborhood, but I was working hard, I was sweating hard. I got very hot. I got to sweep up the sawdust too. When working with metal things, machinery and that, wood is its best friend for blocking and supporting really heavy things. I guess the most heaviest thing I got right now is about 8,000 pound lathe. And they call them a long gem. Little swing 20 inches by 80, is it? Yeah. That's okay. And the smallest one I have, going down all different sizes, is a jeweler's lathe. You just carry it around and put it anywhere and turn on the little motor and away it goes. And a mini mill too. So small that you can carry it around and turn it on. Then they get jumped from that size to up to 100 pounds. Then, it's 1,500 pounds. In that range. Oh no, I forgot the other baby ones I got. Not really baby, but in between there. And about 400 pounds each. The one I built myself, as well as the Seneca Falls number 10 lathe. I haven't gotten around to hooking the motor up yet to these things. But I will. It's all in the girls' work. Hey, how long have I been talking for? Oh, 11 minutes. Oh, what? 15 minutes, you snob. I'm not a snob. Not me, no. Oh, no, not me, a snob. No, no, no. Oh, so free associate memories, huh? That's what we do. I just thought of kombucha tea. I met Norman Baker, who made it, introduced it. Los Angeles, California, Pacific Palisades. His parents' house, he had it converted into making lots of kombucha. Norman, are you still out there somewhere? Hello, Norman Baker. Hi, kombucha tea. Last I heard from him, he sent me a card in around 2012, I think. He's not on the internet. He did a show with Brenda Roberts, who I did a number of shows with in Seattle. Huh, okay, I wonder how Brenda's doing. I don't know. I could check on a lot of people, I guess, but there's Brenda Roberts and Elaine Smith in Olympia. Almost wore the border out, either going by train or by plane. And plane to LA, I was going back and forth so much from Vancouver to LA to Olympia to Seattle. Got to know one of the border guards, security guys, a couple of them, and he'd be waving and I'd be waving, and the border patrol people say, "You're back again?" I said, "Oh yeah, okay, go, okay, have a good time," that kind of stuff. So I'd meet other people, the border guy and security, and go and have cigarettes. Talk about all the crazy TV shows. One time I crossed the border with metal samples with one of my partners, Alec Shereshevsky. And they just did a check, and they vanished from there. We were waiting around almost an hour. They came back and asked me, because I brought some metal samples to show on TV. They're asking me how those metal samples, those things got, like, what is that? Blah, 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 kind of thing. I said, "Oh, I said, I'm linked to now because they're airing the TV show Science Frontier, Strange Science, Sats Off Living Entertainment, TLC, they're airing the death out of it." So I said, "You got a new TV weekly?" And they found one and came to the desk again. I said, check that out, that's where I am, that's Hutchisoneffect. "Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah, nice meeting you, blah, blah, blah." And off I went. Had a lot of fun with customs, even in Korea. The Korean Airlines, why did it take that? I don't know. I was coming back from Japan with a power cell, with the big one there, I demonstrated. A guy opened a copy of Data's box he was carrying with the metal samples he had on Star Trek that were radioactive. Remember, I got a duplicate in there from a friend. And I had the power unit in there. So the customs guy, South Korean, opens it up. He gets really wired and strange and scared looking. And then my host, Hiroshi Yamabe, explained it to him. And then he closes the lid, turns around, hands it to me like this. Ooh, there you go, Captain. Says, thank you. And let's see, Canadian Customs, U.S. Customs, no problem. I thought it was neat. For some reason, they seem to know who I was because you coming into the U.S. or Canada with a box and you open it up and it looks like a bloody bomb in there or some weird thing. But I had no problems, never. Nothing, even UK Customs. Changing aircraft to Germany, it goes on and on. The toughest customs I encountered was going into Egypt. I had to wait around a couple of hours. They talk to you, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And they take your passport for a day or two. And I thought it was kind of strange. Anyway, there's no problems. Never. One time coming into the U.S., simply I went on the radar because I went to the BP oil refinery by mistake. And a guard came out and said, what are you doing here? Nothing. I just got lost. However, that went into the U.S. Customs. I had a video. I took a video. I think the video is still around on YouTube somewhere. But anyway, so I'm crossing down into the U.S. One of the border patrols said, "Oh, next time you come, you could bring documentation on what you do and that kind of thing, information," which I should have done. I didn't do. Next time I went to the U.S., they said, "No, you can't come in. You got to show what you're doing." And so I said, "Oh well, okay." So Peter Von Puckheimer, Griffin Film Productions, and others wrote up all the information. And I bought his ticket again and went down there, and I said to them, this time I brought all the documentation. "Oh, well, thank you." And they looked at it and copied it. And were very happy and said, "Well, here, have a great time." So I did. Other than that, no other problems. Just that one incident, but oh well. You just have to be careful. Anyway, that was interesting. So Elaine Smith of WebWorks, I stayed at her place in Olympia. A couple of nights we do two TV shows back to back. And with Brenda, I stayed at her home. That's what I was going into. Somebody left a comment on YouTube about exploring the unknown. Okay, let me explain that one. It's arranged by Fox TV. I got it all on video, by the way. I filmed the building and all the people and the props and stuff in Los Angeles. Triage Entertainment building on Ventura Boulevard. Went there and I filmed that. Interviewed me, and then we prepared for different days for filming. So it was Fox Boulder's boss, Fidge, Mr. Fidge, F-P-A-G-G-G, or some odd name like that. Skidder. Got to see him. He was organizing it all. It's uploaded on YouTube. So that's Exploring the Unknown. I don't know the other shows they did, but I'm sure they're really good. I was, one year was that, 1999, somewhere 2000, sorry. Just after the TLC thing was airing. Okay. Oh, in LA, in San Diego, in Oceanside. Got a tooth problem. So Christine, Steven Seagal's best friend, who lives in Oceanside as well. Hi, Christine. Hi. Hope you're well. Last email I got was maybe a month ago. But anyway, she phones up Gary Young, who's into alternative health. And get John to the hospital, I think. So Gary took me to the hospital, emergency, and sitting there talking, and he looked familiar, the doctor said, and then he sat down next to me and said, I want your John Henry. I said, huh? He says, you know who you are. I said, it's the human being, I mean. Signing autographs. Unbelievable. But anyway. So I went into the a small room where a nurse came in, and she says, who do we call you, an actor or what? I said, I don't know. Well, she said, anyway, bend over. Pull your pants down and bend over. I did, and then goes an injection of penicillin. And then I got, well, I think at the same time there was an earthquake down there. A seven earthquake. I felt like I'm laying on the bed kind of sick, and it's like this. I didn't get up. I said, oh, well, I could fall apart. Oh, who cares? Anyway, I got up to LA. I filmed it. If you look at my YouTube channel, you see me and filming a little black and white TV. It's Christine and I going up to Los Angeles. The Stumbling Scientist series, and we just did it all that time, talking about the Stumbling Scientist, because that's what when John stumbled into something, and that was on the TLC TV show. That's how popular that thing was. So we joking about it, laughing about it. Even Steven Seagal, I didn't know who he is. Heard the name, but I never, whatever. I didn't even know what he looks like. So. On Mandeville Canyon Road, towards the end, it was 1982, Kelly LeBrock's house. Anyway, walking up there, and well, he said, I saw you with John Alexander on TV. And said, oh. He introduced himself, and I introduced myself, and we had a great time. So we're back and forth to Stephen's place because he's doing special things with Pinot Rompouget. Oh, I'm talking about all kinds of stuff tonight. I acted silly back then too. Oh yeah, I did have hairstyles back then. Ian used to help me out with that. A beautiful picture of me in a swimming pool with one of these. Yeah, I do. Wow. Anyway. So we meet up with Kirk R. Thatcher of Star Trek number 4. Also Jim Henson Productions. Very nice guy. And I stayed at his home for a couple of weeks. When we go to LA, he always buy us lunch. He'd go to work, I'd babysit the parrots. Not ravens, parrots. Cosmos. Valentino, I forget the other one's name, but I babysit them, talk to them, and then I go into the jacuzzi and eat oranges from the orange tree. Yin was off in Hollywood working on her projects, so was Kirk R. Thatcher working on his projects. He'd come back at night and he'd bring out the birds to sit around us while we eat dinner. Then we go sometimes down into the city and talk to the scientists that supported the producer of the X-Files. It was, oh my goodness. Why would I forget his name? Damn it, Jim. What's wrong with your head? Anyway. Because the X-Files was filmed in my neighborhood as well, along with Millennium. The Millennium House, supposed to be in Seattle, it's actually in 2 blocks away. In New Westminster, British Columbia. I got videos of it. I was almost Miramax motion pictures and took videos too of the house and me walking past it. So anyway, where in the hell was I? I was going into X-Files, so hi Kirk, I love your Muppets. You're a character, a big Muppet. He's from around here as well. Hope to meet up sometime. And I met a very interesting person here, Jeffrey Goins. That's his stage name. We get together once in a while here, talk for a couple hours, and plan on doing a lot of things. His dad is extremely famous, as well as he is very famous too, so I won't mention his real name. He doesn't like his real name mentioned, so I won't mention it. But hey, hi, hi. You probably watch these stupid videos I make too. Now how long have I been talking? 25 minutes? Dark outside. Holy moly, 30. Is that 30? Oh well. I've done longer videos with ravens. That's the longest thing I ever done. Is in production. It's called Ark of the Covenant Revealed. It was a TV show for Discovery. Hour-long special with Marianne Hyman, Nicole Starr. She has a YouTube channel as well, and appeared on one of her shows, the Quantum Woo. 2 times appeared with those folks. Nice people. I'm wandering all over the place today, aren't I? Oh well. It's all fun. Number 1. Oh, you hear me when I'm taking apart the 3-inch 50 cannon on, I think it was HMCS Yukon, one of the ships. I was imitating Jean-Luc Picard. Yes, number 1. Jean-Luc Picard here. I still do it pretty good. It's on video too. I videotaped myself acting silly with those 3-inch 50 cannons. I had a riot that day. So you know that I act silly probably when I was born. Yeah, that little hottie is naughty. Wow, I just thought I was on West Baker's Wesley's Military Surplus Store on Front Street. There's some fun things with Adrian Elliott Stone that has the Hutchisoneffect.ca, which I think is defunct now. I think he's in jail, or I don't know, this secret meeting with bikers in the back of Wes's store. They're gonna off Adrian Stone because he was into he's 107 convictions of this extortion. He wasn't allowed in the United States, and all I know is he made it to the Middle East somehow. And some say he joined ISIS, but I don't know. He could have. Weird stuff like that with Adrian. But anyway, the bikers said this meeting never happened. I said, yeah, you got it. And many other things. We had fun at Wes's store with Colleen. I managed the store. Sometimes I would be left in charge for a moment. Because I haunt these places so much, they would say, well, I'll be gone for an hour, you take care of everything. Okay. That's the same with Satellite Electronics on Main Street. Peter Sikora. I got to know him, haunted his place to death too, and Capital Salvage and North Star Salvage and MB Superior Metals. But in those 2 other stores, Wesley Store and Satellite Electronics on Main, they would do that. I was gone for an hour or something. It did make them some money. Oh, my mind was right there. Kind of flashed in there. And then the gunsmith on Elma Street, 4th and Elma. I bought a beautiful 50 caliber Mark III aircraft machine gun there for $35. And I called up Blacktop Cabs and said, please deliver this to 1458 East 29th and phone Mrs. Murphy. Said there'll be a cab coming with a machine gun in the trunk. She said this simply, okay. The days of non-paranoia, like one time I was riding the bus with a machine gun, a Beretta heavy machine gun with wrapped, it was wrapped, but this barrel was, and nothing happened. They said, oh, he must be in the military. Another time I was riding the bus, and somebody bought a 303. I mean, this is the freedom days in the 70s and 80s. So the bus driver, I think it was Fibs Exchange, that's it. Fibs, is that the same guy as Fox Mulder? Anyway, Fibs Exchange in North Vancouver. He bought himself a rifle and pulled it out of the box and sighted it in because the bus driver had to make up time. So he would stop maybe for 10 minutes. He had a smoke and was reading the newspaper and some other people around. And he pulls out this nice bolt-action rifle. In those days, so what? I used to walk down like this with a stack of rifles and semi-autos in that downtown Vancouver. Bought them. Traded. Jesus. And even on my bicycle, I had semi-autos, 3 of them. On the handlebars, I bought from Tom Gallus. Swiss. Moyes and Nuggets. Semi-auto, nice guns. And the RCMP, as I'm riding my bike, I balanced it okay. It sort of went around me and drove on way off. And I could prove all this. I got stuff from customs. Because I used to buy machine gun parts from Numerous Arms Corporation, and Constable Tate of the RCMP North Vancouver, Corporal Tate, visited me and wanted to know all these machine gun parts are for, and so I'm restoring all these machine guns I have, and he looked them over. And he said, oh, that's okay, it's a really cool collection. I still have the original paper released by Corporal Tate, RCMP Customs. What I'm trying to say here is those days there wasn't the mass paranoia that there is today. It's I believe it is truly a mental illness. It's a huge mental illness that overtakes the whole population and other countries as well. It's a manipulation factor of politicians and lawmakers and news media that actually convert your mind into really believing this crap. Gun control and many other ridiculous things that are going on right now. I recognize that. I always use gun control as a benchmark in my memories. And I had all the licenses too. I still got the old expired ones for owning machine guns and handguns and anything else. But anyway, if you're not going to do any harm, why do these people think they want to take your guns away? A really sad, sick state of affairs going on these days. And with, you know what, sniffle business, it's pathetic. All these politicians and lawmakers do want you convince you that this is going on and it's not really. They're a bunch of criminals. All of them. Some congressmen attack Dr. You-know-who. But anyway, I'm going to see what time it is. I have to turn on the alarm again. Oh, 30, almost 40 minutes. Ooh, wow, 39 minutes talking to Blue Streaker. I guess I should get ready. It's dark out. I got to ride back. I got to turn on the alarm and turn off the heating system, lock everything up. So that's my little chat for the day. Unwinding from stressful work and moving many chunks of metal around. Or I just like it. Who knows? I'm just a clown anyway. Always been this way. My first interview was CBC, television, newspapers, and I thought I was the king of the castle. My delusion. I I kind of love it. It's neat. I used to do radio shows, Lou Gentile radio shows, as well as being interviewed for TV and radio shows. I enjoy it. Sorry, I guess my narcissistic personality is just blossoming, especially this garb. Remember, submarine, sub. I'm a sub. A nasty Klingon cross-dresser. I know that some people laugh at this and some people shake their heads at this nonsensical gibberish I'm doing, but and they always, some of them say, what, the government got to his brain. The government got to him. No, got along fine with all the governments. Germany, USA Army and Security Command people, Los Alamos, Navy Division. I get along fine with governments and Canadian government. Deputy Prime Minister Nielsen, Dr. Lorne Kuhn. You see the pictures of us standing around. I mean, what the hell? Nothing wrong with them. They're great folks. Military folks are great. I have met politicians. It was Dennis Kucinich. Very nice guy. I mean, okay. And, goodness. Berkeley Patel, retired congressman who came visiting with his wife Eleanor, and we went for lunch. Nice letters from all of them. I have to get all these letters uploaded. I keep saying it all the time in videos. Okay, I'll do it. I'm going to go and get the alarms going, and because it's pretty dark out, so it was fun doing this stupid video. Remember, don't press that bell. You'll regret it. And don't subscribe. You'll regret it.